Hello and good morning. My name is Reverend Aliza Bloom Robinson, and I am your transitional consultant. I'm thrilled to be here with you today. I love that song that Gay and Alyssa just sang. It works if you work it. And today I'm talking about our 5 basic unity principles. And ultimately, I am going to hopefully prove to you that they work if you work them. They're brilliant principles. We all know what they are, kind of, sort of. We might not necessarily be able to speak them. So that's my other intention today is by the end of this talk, you'll be able to know exactly what they are. Give you a hint. 1, clap. 1, clap. That's our acronym. So we're going to have fun with this morning. Are you ready? All right, I'm ready. I'm going to start with a story. According to a native legend, one day there was a huge fire in the forest and all the animals fled in terror, all directions, because it was so violent and so fast and so big. But suddenly the jaguar saw a hummingbird pass over his head, but in the opposite direction. The hummingbird was flying towards the fire. Whatever happened, he wouldn't stop. Moments later, the jaguar saw him pass again, this time in the same direction as the jaguar was walking. He could observe this coming and going and coming and going until he finally had to ask that bird about it because it seemed like such a bizarre behavior. "What are you doing, hummingbird?" the jaguar asked. "I'm going to the lake," he answered. "I drink water with my beak and I throw it on the fire to extinguish it." The jaguar laughed. "Are you crazy? Do you really think that you can put out that big fire with your own very small beak? On your own with that very small beak?" "No," said the hummingbird. "I know I can't, but the forest is my home. It needs me, it shelters me, it feeds me and my family. I'm so grateful for that. And I help the forest grow by pollinating its flowers. I'm part of her. And the forest is part of me. I know I can't put out that fire, but I must do my part." And at that moment, the forest spirits who listened to the hummingbird were moved by the birdie and its devotion to the forest. And miraculously, they sent a torrential downpour, which put an end to the great fire. The Native American grandmothers would occasionally tell this story to their grandchildren and then conclude, "Do you want to attract miracles in your life? If so, do your part." You have no responsibility to save the world or to find the solutions to all the problems, but you do have responsibility to attend to your particular personal corner of the universe. As each person does that, the world saves itself. I just love this story so much. And I thought it was a perfect story to frame our principles with. So our first principle, remember, our acronym 1, clap. We're going to do that a lot of times today. By the end, you'll know what the clap means. 1 means one presence, one power. It also means light. It means that God is. God is. From Isaiah 37:16, Hezekiah prayed, "You are God, the only God there is, God of all kingdoms on earth. You made heaven and earth. Oh God, you are one." Our statement that we say every single Sunday in almost every Unity church, there's only one presence and one power active in the universe. God the good, God the source of all good. There's a variety of ways that we say that. But God is all that is. The energy, the frequency, the creative spirit that is God is the one power. Everything else is a part of humanity. So if you see the picture, I wish I could figure out how I've done slides today, but I couldn't figure it out on my own. But there's a picture of the universe. It's the black, it's the galaxies, it's swirling, it's all kinds of, well, galaxies, not just planets, but galaxies. And then there's a little tiny speck. It says, you are here. Like you are here. Like we are such such a tiny, tiny, tiny part of all that is, but we're a super important part, like the hummingbird. But then yesterday I saw this meme. A friend of mine sent it to me, and it was a picture of God and oh, probably Jesus and Peter hanging out with God, the tall man, old white man with the long white beard, right? That image. And they were looking at this information screen, and it showed the picture of a human's brain with an arrow pointing in, saying to God, you are here, right in the middle of the human's brain. That's part of our challenge, right? I thought it was pretty funny. And God saying, what is this, a joke? In Genesis, the first book of the Bible, it says, before there was, God was. I'm using the version called The Message today, which I really like because it's modern day English and it's got some things flushed out. So Genesis 1, first, this, God created the heavens and the earth. All you see, all you don't see. Earth was a soup of nothingness, a bottomless emptiness, an inky blackness. Spirit brooded like a bird above the watery abyss. But then God spoke, this force, this impulse spoke that said, let there be light, and there was light. Of course, it goes through all of the creation. And at the end of the creation, and God said, let there be humankind formed in our image and likeness, both male and female. And it was good. God saw that it was good. We were born out of the one power, the one presence, and we call it God. And we are good all the time. So do you know why Unity has 5 basic principles? This is a joke. The answer to that joke, according to one of my seminary instructors, Reverend Jim Gaither, was because we don't believe the first one. I'm waiting your laughter, right? There is only one presence. That's our one. C for Christ within. C, our C and clap for Christ within. Also stands for, our second principle stands for love, stands for I am. So God is I am. This is the I am statement. One of Charles Fillmore's most favorite quotes of all time is from Colossians 1:27. It says, Christ in you, the hope of glory. Christ in you, the hope of glory. So our movement was founded on this belief, on this principle that our work on the planet, our reason for being on the planet is to awaken that Christ within, to activate that Christ within, to realize that Christ within. There's a quote that says a butterfly cannot see its own beauty. It says, did you know that butterflies can't see their own wings? So they have no idea how beautiful they are. Maybe you are a butterfly. You're a wonderful person. You just maybe don't quite see it. Now, this quote that the butterflies can't see their wings is technically and scientifically not true, but I still love the quote because it allows us to consider the possibility that we can't quite see our own brilliance, but we can see it in others. And others can witness back to us our own brilliance, our own beauty. That's all related to that Christ essence, that Christ potential within each and every one of us. The L, I don't know which way I don't know if that's an L or that's an L. The L in clap is the law of mind action, the law of attraction. So from 1 Peter 1:13, how about this? You're getting a scripture talk today. Again, from the Message, it says this. So roll up your sleeves, get your head in the game, be totally ready to receive the gift that's coming when Jesus arrives. Don't lazily slip back into those old grooves of evil, doing just what you feel like doing. You didn't know any better then. You do now. As obedient children, let yourself be pulled into a way of life shaped by God's life, a life energetic and blazing with holiness. God said, I am holy. You be holy. Now, there's some language in there that we could dissect and we could look at, but basically the essence of it is lay down the old ways that no longer work and step into your brilliance. Recognize that you are holy. Recognize that you do know better. You do know how to think. You do know how to act. You do know how to be. Make that your priority. Change your mind. If what we're thinking is what we're experiencing, if what we're feeling is what we're seeing in the world, and it is, I promise you it is, the solution, if you don't like what you're seeing or experiencing, is change your mind. Gandhi said, we are the change we're looking for. Lots of people said it. We are the change we're looking for. The only way to change the outer is to first change your inner. Change your mind, change your thought, change that loopy pattern that goes on and on and on and on about how awful it is. Just stop it. Change it. I've talked a lot of times about how to pivot that, how to distract that. Just change your mind. That's what the hummingbird was doing. He didn't have to change his mind. He knew he was the one. He knew his role, his Christ. He knew he was one presence with all that is. He knew his essence, and he knew that his actions, although they might not make a huge difference immediately, they make a huge difference. And they did. And his actions made a huge difference, just as yours do. Just as yours will. The universe, when you are lined up, one presence, Christ within that divine essence, the law, what you pay attention to, you get. The universe will move mountains to show up in miraculous ways. Remember, the definition of miraculous is different than you think you want, right? Beyond your mind. All right, C, L, next one is A. The A stands for affirmative prayer. That is the way that we connect with spirit. We call it affirmative prayer because we typically don't do the begging and the beseeching. We like to every now and again, in a moment. And there's nothing wrong with that. But our movement is founded on affirmative prayer. From Matthew 6:6, again in the Message. Here's what I want you to do. Find a quiet, secluded place so you won't be tempted to role play before God. Just be there as simply and honestly as you can manage. The focus will shift from you to God, and you will begin to sense its grace. New Revised Version says, go into the closet and pray, right? But it's about opening the space. It's about aligning. The A could also be aligning, although that's my language, not our movement's language. Aligning with the truth that is. Our affirmative prayer is about speaking the truth that already is. It's not making stuff up with our brain, but when you activate that place of affirmative prayer, you're in the sweet spot. For those of you who were at the Stepping Stones workshop last week, we talked about the a couple weeks ago, we talked about the sweet spot, When you get quiet in your being, you humble yourself before spirit. Don't role play. Don't put on, whatever, right? And you find that presence and you speak the truth. It has to manifest. Again, back to the law, right? And our fourth principle. Okay, affirmative prayer, the hummingbird, right? He was in affirmative action. He stayed in action. He stayed in alignment with what he knew was his to do. Okay, so the P, ready for the P? P. Is that how you do P? I think that's how you do P. P is practice. But it's not just practice, it's practice, practice, practice. Practice, practice, practice. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? You practice, practice, practice. It's an oldie, right? From John 13, it says, now that you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them. Now that you know these things, do them. You will be blessed if you do them. Do them. Do them. Take this principles out of our mind, out of our brain, out of our being able to speak them, although that's important. Integrate them into your life. Put them into practice. Try them on. They are classic principles in that you never get them done, but you can ever and always be continuing to fine-tune the integration, the activation, the implementation of these principles. These principles work if and when you work them. That hummingbird, back to the hummingbird, was putting his belief into practice, even in the face of the jaguar and the other animals. The story is, you can flush it out even further than I did, but even in the face of the animals, going, what do you think? Who do you think you are? What do you think you're doing? And sometimes we might feel that, right? What is my little tiny action? How does that impact the world? How is that going to change the world? But I promise you, it does. And it will. How do we practice? We remember there's only one presence. We are the Christ potential that is within us. We practice the law. We practice affirmative prayer. That's how we connect to God. That's how we bypass our loopy mind to come into that place of stillness, to that place of empowerment. And we practice. But what do we practice besides those principles? We practice love. We practice kindness. We practice compassion. We practice compassionate communication, which is about telling the truth about our experience with the intention of connecting. We realize that we are one. We are one humanity. We are one planet. I saw a post this morning as I was commenting on it and connecting with my friend who wrote it, who's another one of my global friends in England. She made a comment back on my comment, which was lovely. And then I noticed that she had posted it in like 3 years ago. I'm like, I have no idea how this showed up on the top of my Facebook feed today. But the essence of it was let go of right and wrong for the greater value of connecting. The truth is, we don't know, especially if we're in an argument, right? If you can, or a worldview difference, and we have so much of that on the planet. But what if you let go? This is practice. What if you let go of needing to be right and looked for connection? Some of the work we did in the board training a couple of weeks ago, and looked for that connection. Where can we connect? Where can we go heart to heart, soul to soul, essence to essence? And that is practice of our unity principles. Now, there are way more than 5, but 5 are the ones that Connie Fillmore, who was the granddaughter of Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, who ran the unity movement for many, many years. She was charged with putting all of our beliefs, because we like to say we're non-dogmatic and, all those things, to take all of the principles that we have And there's another document out there. I think it has 38 on there. But to put them, to distill them into the top 5. And this is what she came up with. Now, there's lots of ways to speak them. There's bookmarks. Linda Cantor's bought bookmarks. I don't know where you get them or how they are, but we give them away sometimes with different versions, but they're all the same essence. So you now know what they are. 1 clap. Together, 1 clap. 1 clap. 1 clap. Now let's say it. 1 presence and 1 power. Repeat it after me. C for Christ, that Christ potential within me. C, Christ potential within me. Together, Christ potential within me. L, law of mind or law of vibration. A, affirmative prayer. And P, we can do this one together, practice, practice, practice. Christ, let's go 1 presence, Christ within, law of mind action, affirmative prayer, and practice. 1 clap. 1 clap. Next time I see you, I'm going to say, what are the 5 principles? And I'm going to expect you to know them. I'm going to expect you to remember them, to remember, even if you can't get the words exactly right, it doesn't matter, right? Because it is the essence of these words. This is one way to remember them. 1 presence is about light. Christ within is about love. Law is about order. Affirmative prayer is about alignment, and practice is about life. Light, love, order, alignment, and life. And one more way, it's probably too much, but God is. I am. I think, I pray, I live. Isn't that a beautiful one too? I'm going to do that one again so you can grab it. God is. I am. I think it. I pray it. I live it. Let's do that together. God is. I am. I think it. I pray it. I live it. When we put these principles into practice again and again and again, deeper and deeper and deeper, your lives will change. And as you change your lives, you become the impulse of the universe to bring to us miraculous outcomes. We are here to make manifest the glory of God. At Unity, we have these beautiful principles that give us the exact tools to do that. So let's take this into a time of practice through meditation. Take a breath in. Line up with God is. What I mean by that is bring your awareness out of your head, into your body, into your being. Connect through your feet to the earth, through your crown to the universe. Know that you are a part of God, that there is only one present, active in your life and in the universe. When you connect to the earth and the sun, it is as if you feel that connection to that which is greater than you. I am. Those are the most powerful words we have. I am. Come right down to your heart space. Activate in you that Christ potential within you, that Christ essence. That is your brilliance. That is your love. That is your oneness. Activate it, regardless of what you think. Activate that Christ within. Feel it. Feel it quickening in your heart space. The law of mind, that which you focus on, you get more of. The law of vibration. Come into gratitude. Come into love. Let love or appreciation or gratitude activate in your heart. Let it bubble up. Let it overflow. Appreciation, love, gratitude, they all recalibrate our body system back to coherence. The A, affirmative prayer, affirm, I am one with all that is. I am love, I am light. I am. And practice is exactly what we're doing. Find that space in you. And we rest here for a few moments in the silence. Feel the activation, feel the quickening of spirit in you, through you, as you say yes to a new awareness of our 5 basic principles. God is, I am, I think it, I pray it, I live it. One clap. One clap. Oneness, Christ, law, affirmative prayer, practice. Put this into practice and your life will change. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, when you're ready, open your eyes. And so it is. And so we let it be. Amen and amen. Until next time. Bye.